Good morning. I hope y'all are doing well today. I'm Brenda Weimer with the Springville Senior Center, and it is Mystery Monday, and we are going over episode 2 today. I'm not going to be playing any mystery music because I want y'all to be able to hear what I'm talking about today. This story is very intriguing and interesting. They even made a movie out of this story that I'm talking about. The man's name is Ken Rex McElroy. He is from Skidmore, Tennessee. He was born in 1934 and he was murdered and killed on July the 10th, 1981. Now, he is a resident of Skidmore, Missouri. He was always known as the town bully. His murder, became the focus of not just local attention in that state, but also international attention. Over the course of his life, McElroy was accused of dozens of felonies, over 24, and he got off of every single one of them. They included assault, child molestation, statutory rape, arson, hog and cattle rustling, burglary. I mean, you just name it, and the list goes on and on. We know that he had at least 3 wives, a lady named Sharon, a lady named Alice Woods, and then Trina McLeod. Now, when all of this stuff's going on, he was convicted of shooting and seriously injuring the town's grocery store clerk, 70 years old. His name is Ernest Bowenkamp. He shot him the year before, so in 1980, he shot him. Well, McElroy successfully appealed the conviction, was released on a bond, and this engaged a crazy ongoing harassment campaign against Bowenkamp. And the whole town was sympathetic to Bowenkamp, including the ministers of the community. There were 2 churches there in town. One was a Baptist church and one's Church of Christ. He showed up at the local bar called D&G's, and he was bragging, and he just wouldn't let things go about killing Ernest. He said he was going to finish what he started, and he was just going to go after Ernest. And what started for him to shoot Ernest in the first place, he thought it was justified. Ken Rex McElroy did. He shot Mr. Ernest because his daughter was accused of stealing candy. Now, this is another part of it. Ken McElroy was married to that lady, like I told you, Alicia. Well, Alicia and him were married. But see, Ken liked to run around. He also liked to mess with underage kids. Well, he picked up Trina when she was 14 years old. And supposedly he raped her. She accused him of it. But then later she backtracked and said that he didn't. And he kept going to her parents' house asking for marriage. And every time they would say, no, you cannot marry my daughter. No, 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 no. And so the parents went out of town for something. Ken set their place on fire. Well, after that happened, the parents let him marry Trina. That right there would have been a big no, I know, for most of us. But it happened. And these were the times back then in that time period. Ken was at least 30, maybe around that time when she was 14. It's crazy. Now, to give you a little leeway, he also shot another man in the town in the stomach. He said that this man had owned a Buick and had showed up on his property without him there, and so he thought it was justifiable that he shot this man. This man was never on his property, never had a Buick, a white Buick, or whatever the vehicle was that McElroy said that he had. This man was just minding his own business, heading home, and was in his own truck. And a lot of the people, small town, small community, everybody knows everybody. Everybody in that town carried guns. Well, Ken showed up at the D&G Tavern the day before he was killed. And he was armed with an M1 Garand rifle and bayonet. He was threatening to finish the job and to kill Mr. Ernest here. Well, what happened is the town got together early the next morning, and they're like, something has to be done about this. Well, there was a sheriff on duty who also attended this meeting. His name was Sheriff Estes. Um, a marshal was also threatened, said if you go to court against Mr. Bowenkamp and you convict me, your family may end up dead. But the FBI subpoenaed everybody in that whole town, just about, and nobody knew nothing. Nobody said anything, whether it be them being scared that these people that shot him were going to come after them too, or the fact that the whole town thought it was justifiable. Nobody really knows. But this whole town had a meeting, and there was packed in over 100 people packed into that room about what was going to happen and what they were going to do to get Ken out of this town. So they're meeting, and in the process of this meeting, well, guess what happens? Ken and his wife Trina show up that morning at the D&G, and they're going to this local bar, and they're going to have a drink. Now, the whole thing just felt weird, Trina said. People were getting free drinks. People just kept showing up in the building after Ken and Trina went there. Well, Ken and Trina decided they were going to leave. Something just didn't feel right, felt odd. And they got in their truck, and about that time they're in their truck getting ready to leave, all these people, the numbers ranged from 35 up to 100 people, surrounded the whole truck and just stood there and wouldn't let them leave. Well, there was supposedly at least 3 different rifles or 3 different people that had shot at the truck. Some people said they saw witnesses, some didn't. But they all surrounded this truck. He was shot at different angles. Well, he was shot in the head. It killed him just like that. And then Trina, they took her up to the local bank, tried to help get her cleaned up and everything. And she was going to call the cops. And they say that she was threatened and said, if you call the cops and you get involved, you're going to be taken care of too. Don't know if that's true or not. That's what she said. She also said that she saw one of the killers. But everybody in the whole town had motive because Ken had messed with everybody in the town. Like I said, everybody was either intimidated or scared of him or had been threatened by him because he's just a horrible guy. Well, based on all of this, even still to this day, nobody has said anything about who killed him. And a lot of people said, yes, it was wrong to kill him, and then they should have let the law handle it. And then a lot of people in the town said they all tried to let the law handle it. The law didn't do their job. It went to court. Court didn't do anything. This man's basically getting off free without being charged for any of the crimes he's ever committed. So the town felt like they had to get retribution. Well, this whole story, not only did it gain international attention, it was made into a movie. The movie is called In Broad Daylight. Brian Dennehy, Cloris Leachman, several other known celebrities played in this movie. So you can check that out. You can also check out all the documentaries. Sundance did a documentary in several different parts on him and the whole situation. There's also a stuff on YouTube. You can go on and watch all the documentaries on YouTube. If you don't have the Sundance app on your TV, you can check that out and see for yourself. I just think it's very interesting. And what's weird too, in Skidmore, Tennessee, Skidmore, Missouri, in this small little town, other things over the years have started happening. And so I highly recommend that you check out all those stories too. Other people have ended up getting murdered. Things are happening. It's almost like this small little home-knit town. It has a lot of secrets and a lot of things are happening. And it's almost like a ghost town now. But it's just been something after another since Ken had been killed. So, like I said, highly recommend it. Again, Ken Rex McElroy and Trina McElroy. And like I said, he was married multiple times. Some of his children were put up for adoption from the very first person he was married to. Some of his kids turned out normal. Some of them have been in trouble with the law multiple times. And because there's so many kids, there's so many different stories. But some of his children play a role in this documentary series. Some still live near the town. They don't live in the exact same town, but they live near it. So definitely check it out. That's the story of Ken Rex McElroy, Skidmore, Missouri. Talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a wonderful day.